Hello, beautiful evening to everybody. Of course, it's a wet day in South Africa. I don't know what it is like in your part of the world. And of course, this is still the cryptocurrency corner, of course, anchored and handled by me, Young Biko Joseph. I've been away from, of course, YouTube for quite a while now. I've not actually really talked about cryptocurrencies and so many things. I've just been watching what has been happening in the market. And today, I decided to come, of course, back on air again, of course, to resume activities as usual, as the case may be. And so I'm here again to give you topics and, of course, talk a little bit about Bitcoin and, of course, cryptocurrencies. Now, I've been looking at what has been happening in the market most recently, and of course, I noticed a lot of activity in terms of the fact that Bitcoin has just been struggling. I'm going along a trend line, and so you allow me to share my screen with you this evening so that we can actually really have a look and have whatever time it may be. It might be morning, might be daytime, or might be nighttime where you are. So, but I'm not going to share my screen with you, of course, for us to see. Perhaps this could be the reason why Bitcoin is acting the way that it's doing. So I'll share my screen now, and of course, my face will not be in your face. But anyways, let's just see what I'm talking about. So basically, I was just checking the whole thing out, and I felt it's something that I needed to share. Now, basically, let's just use trading. So much fun, of course, in February. We started that sometime in February, and of course, it has not been able to break that trend line. It has continued like that, and of course, struggling within terrain and within this terrain. So I will just go to the weekly chart, and let's just see what the weekly chart is like for Bitcoin. To give us an overview of what the since sometimes last year, and of course till this point in time. Now, if you remember, about, for those who know a little bit about trading, but of course, if you do not know about trading, it's something that you can also hook up to me, of course, so that I'll be able to put you through on how to trade cryptocurrencies. And also I can actually put you through on how to trade cryptocurrencies and one of my how. However, I want to say this evening that this is just a theory. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. I am just a dude talking about cryptocurrencies on the internet. So don't take my word for it. Now, if we may count, let me just count based on the wave theory, and that is 1, and this is 2, and this is 3, and this is 4, and this is, of course, this is 5. So, which been the beginning of another wave. Of course, this was supposed to retrace to the golden pocket, but it did not retrace to the golden pocket. If we may trace it and see up to this point, okay, so you can see there just a little bit tiny retracement there, just to the 0.236. Okay, so if this is the beginning of another wave, then of course remember that the Fibonacci retracement talks about it retracing close to 99.9999, but not 100%. That is the first theory. The second theory that I want us to take a look at is, let's go to the daily chart. Now, on the daily chart, it will also give us an overview of what Bitcoin has been doing. Is it later? Is it the same in terms of the way Bitcoin? Now, remember, now Bitcoin started back in 2009, and of course, since then, that major correction. Major correction. When I mean a major correction, the whole market correction. Now, I'm going to count the earlier wave. Let me just delete this one and let's start all over. Now, let's just say, I'm just saying that this is a 1. Of course, we count the 2 there. We count the 3 here, and this is the 4, and then we have the 5, as the case may be. Or this is what we can also do. I will just expand the wave a little bit for us to really see it clearly. so that we will have a clearer picture of what begin account in July of 2017. Now, this can be one with this place, and then we have two, we have three, we have four, we have five. Okay, and this is an extended fifth wave you see here. So then after the extended fifth wave, of course, the correction has taken place, because of course for every wave, of course, there are smaller waves of also of five, right? There are smaller waves of five. So if that were to be the case, this we just kind of like try to correct, and then the big boom, the long correction down. Now my question is this: remember, at the end of every fifth wave, things that happen with every fifth wave that we need to have at the back of our minds, which I want you to have at the back of your mind also, is this: that most time when a fifth wave corrects, most times, not all the time, it goes to 782 Fibonacci. For those who, if you are not a trader, it's something. So let's just take the wave, the Fibonacci retracement of the whole structure, and then study it and see. So this, let's just take it from somewhere here, because of course at that point it's still almost the same thing all the way there. And you can see that we are in between the golden pocket 618 Fibonacci and 0.786 Fibonacci, which means Bitcoin is at the level where a reversal can take place. I want you to know something. There's something I want you to note. I want you to understand that actually it can actually still retrace to 786 Fibonacci, which of course will have been 4,997, of course, or maybe $5,000 as the case may be. But something that we need to take cognizance of in the market is this. I want you to really have that at the back of your mind. What you're going to take cognizance of is this. Now that we have been on for many months, I want you to have it at the back of your mind that that support is a place that Bitcoin has been bouncing off, and then going back, bouncing off, and then going back. And of course, the more the support becomes. So it's possible it can drop. That's the theory. It can drop to 5,000. But if it does drop to 5,000, there are a lot of bullish people waiting there. And of course, there will be a bounce of about 2-3 days, and then it may go higher. One theory. The second thing I want to say is this: that remember that this support is a place wherein miners can keep their machine on. So they will not want to break that support so that they can keep their machine running. And if you break that support to 5,000, if it stays there for a very long time, then of course most machines will have to go off, because they are not making any, even as it is now, miners are not actually making profit, which is one of the reasons why they're selling most, of course, coins to running in terms of keep their machines on. If that is major support that will have to take a serious time, because most of the time when it breaks the support with some of those tiny wicks you see here, it bounces off immediately. It doesn't stay there for 2-3 days. That's one thing you need to also have at the back of your mind. But I want you to understand something: that if it were to drop to 5,000, it will also not last long. But another thing we need to understand is that we're coming towards the end of the year. Something else again I want to just bring to your attention. Of course, if you're watching this video right now, or you're watching it, actually put it up. I'll put it up. Of course, it's something that you can also look at. Now let's look at a Fibonacci extension. Perhaps this is the reason why a lot of bulls have not really got into the market. So let's take a Fibonacci extension of the whole wave, and then dropping it to this point, which is what we're talking about. So now remember that I think Tom Lee or something like that, he was saying something that Bitcoin will actually hit 25,000 this year. If this were to be the extension, it's possibly 5,000, even though I am not drawing it accurately. But so also, we should also look at something that can happen also, that 1.618 will have been 36,000 over $30,000. So it's between $25,000 and $30,000. So it's possible between now and the time or the early or that point in January, it's possible that that can happen. Why can it happen? Now, some of the reasons why it can happen is that, remember, a lot of institutional investors are coming into Bitcoin. That's number one. Number two, so many technology, and of course, the technology is holding sway. Of course, as too many things are coming into place, and the whole blockchain thing, is becoming, crazy. But remember that Bitcoin, right from its beginning, from the onset, look at where it started. Operation. So if we are looking at it as a wave of 1 and 2, then 3, remember 3 is the longest and not the shortest. If 3 is the longest wave and shortest, then one of the things that you need to have at your back of your mind is that it can hit 25,000 or 30,000 or more dollars towards the end of this year, towards early January. In fact, from sometime in November, that can actually happen. Okay, so these are some of the theories that I have actually been looking at, and something that I felt that that I needed to share with you. Of course, if you like the video, feel free to like notification button so that whenever I post any other new videos in terms of theories and postulations like that, you'll be able to see so many things. And also, if you want to also be able to take part in some of the training, of course, trading classes in terms of a day trader, you want to be a day trader, that I have been running for quite a while now. Of course, I have 3 sessions of the beginner, or you can also train for the intermediate or a professional trader. Of course, feel free to hook up to me, of course, to reach out to me. You can actually drop a message via the same via my page there, of course, tell me that you're interested, or as well, I'll be sharing also information on how you can actually reach me via whatever means. Of course, most of my trainings are online training, and of course, they are actually cost effective. So basically, that is just what I'm looking at. But basically, let's look at also the coin market cap as of today. The coin market cap not doing too well, of course, with $9 billion right now, and of course, 24 hours volume, and of course, $202 billion done. Of course, the market cap, entire market cap, really not telling a lot of story. But I can tell you that in the next few coming days, of course, we'll be having a lot of activity, because right now people are actually gearing up. And if we what is happening, Bitcoin has gotten to the bottom. Many whales are actually sitting down. Can I tell you this? That is the Bitcoin has already bottomed out. If it has, then of course we may be expecting something greater. Now, yesterday I actually talked about something on my Facebook channel where I did a live training. Of course, remember, one of the things also that you need to have at the back of your mind is that it's better and always better if you are a trader than, of course, you actually keeping your money or storing up your money or stacking it up. The only thing you need to do is to just find a way to learn about how to trade. And of course, I am available to actually give you that information. And of course, there are a lot of ways you can also learn from various other guys also who are on, of course, the internet. Of course, like I said, it would be better for me and you to actually work on this together for you to truly know how to trade. So basically, that's just my brief postulation. I'm hoping that maybe perhaps that is the reason why Bitcoin is where it is and why it's behaving the way it is. So one of the things I can tell you is this, that keep in mind that perhaps we may be, at the level whereby Bitcoin will actually, do very well between, sometime middle November to early January again. And of course, one of the things that happen, one of the sentiment in the market is that people, have this notion of waiting till when they see that the price is really up, and then of course they join the fray. So there's a lot of things to talk about. I remain your boy, Young Victor Joseph. Hope you guys anytime soon. Of course, to talk with you more. So like I said, like my page, like the page, click the notification button so that you, of course, get so many postulation theories when I post another video. Sorry for the lighting. I'll be back, of course, to talk with you guys tomorrow. Do have a lovely day wherever you are in the world and enjoy your Sunday. And bye-bye.